Tony D and Little Jones somewhere in the background, and this is a screenwriter's rant on Tyler Perry's Straw, as in Last Straw, about a woman who robs a bank when she's at the end of her rope. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 17 available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So this is a movie that's been done before. Somebody, is on the brink and they rob a bank out of desperation, and you feel bad for him. Only this time, it's going to be a single mother, black woman, who has to rob the bank for her child. The odd thing about the movie is everybody who has an important role in the movie is also black and also a woman, and everybody sympathizes with her. But somehow the movie plays out the same way it always does, with her taking hostages, not getting the money, and then, ending in a confrontation at the end. So it's weird. The tone feels off. It feels weirdly over dramatic. So this woman can't catch a break. She's trying to do everything to save her kid. She's going broke trying to pay her medical bills, her child's medical bills, and she gets evicted, and the child gets taken away, and this is the only way she could save her. It kind of doesn't make any sense when you get right down to it, because number one, who gets away with a bank robbery these days? No one. Literally no one. Banks don't have a lot of money on hand. There's so many ways to get caught. They have the die packs, they have everything. But I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to set up a situation in which, you have this drama play out, like, oh, I didn't want to rob the bank, but I have no choice, and they feel sympathy towards her, but they have to arrest her and stop her from robbing the bank. But it just doesn't work, in my view. It just doesn't work. This doesn't feel like a solution a female character would make. Doesn't feel like a solution at all. This feels like a solution for a man. A male character would do this and has done this in other movies. Now you could say, oh, well, this is different, so it's a female. Okay. Why are there only other female characters in the mix, like in every major role? It doesn't seem realistic. It also seems to undermine, if these are all strong, independent women just doing their jobs, why are they all sympathetic to her? And why does it play out the same way anyway, it seems? So, first act probably starts with her robbing the bank. And nobody quite believes her at first, but then she pulls out a gun and the bank gets locked down. And she almost gets away. But for whatever reason, she's delayed and gets trapped in the bank, and now it's a hostage situation, and she cannot leave because she needs this money for her kid. Now, at that point, she might as well surrender, because, she's not going to get away. What would happen exactly? She would shoot her way out and shoot a bunch of cops and get away with the money, and then pay off the bills and then never get caught. That's not going to happen. So you got to play characters at the height of their intelligence. And yes, you could argue, well, she's so distraught, she's so put upon, she's not thinking straight. Yeah, I get that, but even characters like that at some point see reality. Reality closes in at some point, unless they're looking to self-delete. And you could argue that maybe, but then really, what's this drama about? A woman who just wants to end it all? So, you're going to have 90 minutes to 2 hours of or the second act, basically. Oh, do we help her? Oh, and she pontificates about all the horrible things that happen, and we see it in flashback, and they're all horrible, I'm sure. But it's just more stuff to drive the movie home. And I guess you could say, well, wouldn't the audience that this movie is aimed at relate to this woman who's having a tough time? Maybe. Or they might look at it as like, well, I've had a tough time before, but I never thought about robbing a bank. Or, well, I've had a tough time before, but I've never had this many things happen to me in tough times. And really, if you're talking about somebody who, let's say, is just living at the brink, you know, is on the verge of getting evicted, lives paycheck by paycheck, are they really going to see this on Netflix? Do they even have Netflix? Do they even have the money for Netflix? So, I mean, you know, I wouldn't have Netflix except for the fact I got it for free. I don't even know how I got it. I'm not sure how I got it, quite frankly. I have Netflix for free. I tried to cancel it, you may recall, and they said, well, you're not paying for it, so we can't really cancel it. You could just not watch it. And I was like, oh, okay, it's weird. So, in the third act, well, I can say she probably doesn't save her kid. I mean, maybe her kid gets saved in some other way, but what kind of message does that send, even just to people watching the movie? Well, if you ever get into a really tight bind, you always rob a bank, and even though you won't succeed, they'll pay your kid's way. So, no. And what sort of, you know, we live in a world in which, yes, a lot of people go broke trying to pay medical bills. That is a truth in America. However, you won't die, because that is a rule. Hospitals will not turn you away if you're injured, sick. They can't. Legally, they can't. So her kid is not going to die. Now, she may be in debt for the rest of her life, the woman here, but that's a small price to pay, isn't it? Isn't that better than going into a bank and maybe killing someone or getting yourself killed? So this drama, to me, feels a bit contrived. It doesn't quite work like it used to. Like in the 70s, this was more of a thing. If you look at Dog Day Afternoon, for instance, one of the reasons Al Pacino and Fredo from the Godfather movies is robbing a bank is they're trying to get money for a sex change operation for Fredo. Then it turns into a hostage situation. But back in the 70s, they kept more money in the bank. Things weren't electronic. They had to keep more money on hand. Money went further, so you didn't, stealing $10,000 now is different from stealing $10,000 50 years ago. $10,000 50 years ago, that was pretty good money back then. That would be like probably almost $100,000 now, when you think about it. And $100,000 is a decent haul. So, but banks don't carry that kind of money anymore. And it's mostly electronic, and they've got timed, safe. And again, you could say, well, she doesn't know that and whatever. This just feels old, is what it feels like. It feels like an old concept, trotted out and dressed up in sort of modern day, dressing, and it just kind of doesn't work. That's the way I feel about a lot of Tyler Perry stuff. It just kind of never works for me. His comedies are not really all that funny. His serious movies, I don't really buy. Like, I just don't, see the attraction here. Let's see what the IMDb says. I mean, even the name Straw, it really should be Last Straw. Written and directed by Tyler Perry, a single mother navigates a series of unfortunate events leading her down an unforeseen path where she becomes embroiled in a situation she never envisioned, finding herself at the center of a suspicion in an indifferent world. That doesn't even make any sense. She robs a bank. Yes, she navigates a series of unfortunate events, leading to an unforeseen path. She goes into the bank and demands that they cash her check, or robs it, either one. And she's at the center of suspicion in an indifferent world. There's no suspicion here. She's in the bank with a gun. So, not sure that synopsis scans, but if you want to see this, it's on Netflix June 6th. Would I see it? No. No, thank you. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D. And Little Joan. Thanks to all who came out to the Mayfest. Great day for the Mayfest. Another windy day at historic Smithville. But this time I was ready for the wind. Oh, yeah. This time I did something with my table where I used the table. I have these weights I put on the legs of the booth. And I put the table legs on top of the weights. So all the weight of my books, and I put 2 boxes on the table too, kept the front of my booth from going anywhere. And I have weights for the back too. So I had no problems with my tent today, despite the wind. But I saw 2 different tents blow over. So yeah, it was a windy day. But despite all that, it was a really good day for me. Tomorrow night I'll be at the Atlantic County Historical Society in Summers Point for Authors Night. Starts at 6:30. Hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.